Okay, Michael, stay with us. We want to bring in our panel. Will we see a budget deal or a government shutdown on Friday? Let's ask the panel. We got Gene Marks. He runs a small business advisory called the Marks Group. Lindsay Piegza, FTN Financial, Democratic strategist Julie Rajinski, and from L.A., radio talk show host Tammy Bruce. Gene, let me go to you first. What does the business community want? Because I understand there are a lot of complications with the government shutdown, but you can't keep these unsustained deficits going.
Right. You know what business community wants is that we want no surprises, David. You know, so I mean, we just want to make our plans the way we want to make our plans. So, you know, when we look at the government shutting down, no one wants to see that. What we want to see is a plan for how that deficit is going to be reduced. It was quite interesting that this week Representative Ryan is introducing his plan for reducing the deficit by like $4 trillion. I think he's making a statement this week by introducing it now, by almost saying, you know what, we're probably going to compromise this week, but we got big things coming ahead. And the business community wants to see that. We can't sustain these kind of deficits going forward.
Tammy Bruce, I was kind of shocked to hear what Michael Steele had to say, that Boehner would accept this compromise and essentially say to the Tea Partiers, forget it, you're not getting what you want.
Look, when he was elected Speaker, the House said forget it to the Tea Party. When they shut out Tea Party from real leadership, they were making a point about their commitment. So the truth of the matter is they started, they're back where they started. They're working with the Democrats. Democrats, remember, came up with $6 billion in cuts. They had 60, and it's like Pawn Stars. They've landed in the middle again. I mean, the Republicans are no more serious about cutting the debt than the Democrats are. This is an establishment committed to big government, and I've told my listeners and readers that the Republicans are going to fail for the next 18 months, and 2012 is going to be the continuation of the Tea Party revolution.
Wow. Well, Julie, so you're not going to get your way because you want a government shutdown. You can put it all, you can dump it on.
I actually don't want a government shutdown because it's not going to be good for the country.
Democrats could dump that on the lap of Republicans,
David,
just like they did in 95.
The problem that you're facing right now, and everybody in this discussion, and Tammy hit the nail on the head, and so did the chairman, is that the problem for you and for other Tea Partiers is really not the Democrats. It's John Boehner. This is the guy. You talked about entitlements. You talked about the fact that there was, bailouts. Well, John Boehner was an architect of those Bush bailouts. John Boehner was an architect of expanding entitlements with Medicare prescription drug plans. So what do your problem is not the Democrats. Your problem is actually the Tea Party.
This is one of those times, Lindsay, when I think Julie and Tammy and I are more in agreement than disagreement.
Look, I really think that this is an important stepping stone. Sure, when we look at the 2012 budget cuts, we're talking trillions of dollars versus billions. But I think that if we do stick to this $60 billion cut, this is going to earn a lot of legitimacy with the public. Look, a lot of constituents came out, they elected these officials to go in there and really make serious cuts. So I think that if we do see Boehner and the other Republicans back down to $30 billion, I think they're going to lose a lot of credibility.
Steele, but that would bring us back to Bob Dole. I mean, Bob Dole, nice guy, he does good Viagra commercials, etc.
Right.
But, he was a lousy presidential candidate, and he represented very little of what the Republican Party should represent, which is limited government. We're back into that sort of Bob Dole stage.
Well, I don't know if it's the Bob Dole stage, but it is the era of big government republicanism that we've seen for the last 5 or 6 years. And I think that the Tea Party, and it's one of the things that I fought very hard to articulate as national chairman, I think the Tea Party is actually laid down the marker for us. I mean, it is getting back to those principles.
But Michael, let me just ask you, you were head of the Republican National Committee. I mean, couldn't you as head try to steer the Republican Party closer to the Tea Party than what you're saying John Boehner is?
Oh, I think we did. I think, in fact, it's one of the reasons why I got on a bus for 7 weeks.
But John Boehner became the Speaker.
Well, yeah, John Boehner became the Speaker, but I had no control over that part of it. My thing was getting the position where we could elect a Speaker, and we've got 63 new members in Congress that bring a very different perspective on fiscal policy than what has gone before. And I think that the panel is absolutely dead on here, that the reality right now rests in the pockets, in the laps, if you will, of the Republicans. And I think that there's a mindset that says right now in Washington, let's get rid of the old stuff, the 11, let's go ahead, compromise our way out of that.
David
and move
Quickly,
forward.
sure, Tammy, go ahead.
All due respect for Chairman Steele, there was a lot of spending that went nuts during your tenure at the RNC. Everything is going to have to change. This is a revolution, and clearly the establishment still doesn't understand it, and they're going to understand it starting now.
Michael, go ahead.
The only spending we did at the RNC was to put money on the streets in the grassroots community so we could elect Republicans. 21 state legislatures and 63 House seats.
You elected them?
Pardon me? The people did.
You
we put the
elected them or
resources
did
on
Tea
the
Party? Yeah.
The people did. The people elected them.
That's
it wasn't
right.
just Tea Party.
That's
It was
right.
Democrat, Republicans, Americans elected them. So the reality of it is the resources that came into that building we put back on the street. We got control of the Congress, and the test now is what do they do with that leadership?
The Republican Party has been part of the problem for far too long, and they're going to have to adjust. And with whatever influence you have, sir, you'd better try to continue to influence people because this is going to be massive in 2012.
Well, by the way, you both are going to be able to influence our scoreboard viewers coming up because you're still on the panel. Gene is not going to be on the panel. Final comments from Gene.
Yeah, I just want to say, the good news is with all this conversation is that we're having this conversation right now.
Yes,
so myself
it's good to get it out.
Yeah, it's good to get it out, and all we're asking for is a direction as to what's going to happen. So something has got to be compromised, something will be worked out.
Last word from the business community. Gene Marks, thank you very much.
confident.
Coming up on deck, open